bro. You're one of the coolest people. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's Jace bringing you Silent Elements as my co-caster. Tonight we are taking us straight into quarterfinals for Lotus Primrose League. It is Dreadzone Gaming Olympus, first Capedogs Unchained, immediately into the draft. We're seeing the Vayne gone, we're seeing the Hecarim gone, we're seeing the Nocturne gone. So, Silent, what are some of the big items in this draft phase that you hope to see? Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is patch day as well, something to consider.
For bot lane, I'm really looking at still the Caitlyn, Jinx, and potentially Ziggs from DZG.
Well, I know that there has been some talks about wanting to take away that super comfort pick from Reels because he's been doing a lot of work with that champion here. But instead, it is actually going to be the Rakan taking away from Genshu, which has done so much for that DZG bot lane. DZG coming in with the Jinx pick, first pick, definitely showing the priority on that. And, last week, we had some criticism on Reels. They put a lot of draft priority on it. And his position and damage output just wasn't there. I hope that they shore some of that weakness up and they're able to really bring it back this week because this is the match that matters, Silent.
Yeah, especially since it's quarterfinals now. I'm kind of excited to see two teams that have done relatively well in the league. One has 12 wins and 7 losses, and the other team had 11 wins and 7 losses.
Well, we know DZG always loves to make it a 3-game series, so we get to talk a lot more. And that is an incredibly annoying bot lane duo right there, the Caitlyn, the Morgana. Now, we lost to Rakan. What kind of 80 or I'm sorry, support do you want to pair up with that Jinx here?
I honestly, I've seen him on the Rakan so much that I'm not sure what else we can put Ginchu on that kind of offers that same relative safety, but also engage. Honestly, it seems, especially with that Morgana pick, it makes it a lot more difficult to pick a safe support.
Certainly, certainly. So we see the Victor here coming in. We've seen a lot of the Victor Corki matchup. I'm not really too entirely sure on the Capedogs Unchained mid laner champion pool here. I don't think that's going to be a Nami. Maybe it's a shout out to the manager, Alyssa the Siren. But instead, hovering the Blix, Hook Champ's definitely in Real's champ pool. Or I'm sorry, Genshu's champ pool here. And well, it's a hook, but it's not the Blitzcrank hook. So we get the Thresh, and that's not really surprising. Does offer the Lantern, get Reels out of some of those trouble spots, helps with some of the engage tools. It's not as in and out as a Rakan would be, but I definitely think that's a strong pick. Unfortunately, though, Morgana really offers a lot of annoying factors into that lane. How do you feel about this bot lane matchup so far?
So far, I want to say that Capedogs will definitely have an easier time early game. Looks like we're gonna see a Zerath in this matchup as well. Um, I I at the moment I see a lot of potential for Capedogs, especially with their picks. With DZG, there's going to have to be a lot of scaling involved.
Certainly, and one thing that they always need to consider, especially with the way that this is going so far, you have a Caitlyn, you have a Xerath. Your long range potential here is extremely limited. Um, Especially with, Jinx has range, sure, but Victor not so much, and it's going to be a lot of already just with these picks that we have, a lot of jockeying around these fights. I'm sorry, objectives. That's going to happen certainly. So now we're seeing the Malphite and the Camille coming in. So also followed by a Set and a Shen from DZG. So a lot of top lane focus here. It makes sense. The only things not left picked are the jungle and the top. And I imagine that's probably going to be a top lane Gragas after seeing so much of that champion recently.
Yeah, I mean you've played it recently. I haven't. What do you think of it?
It's certainly interesting. It's super irritating for other people to deal with. The unkillable nature of this champion, the percent health damage that he has on the auto attack, the empowered auto attack, the slows that he offers as well. This champion just does a lot and it's hard to kill. So, um, and he's got that a repeating headbutt on like a 6-second cooldown. Now, going into the Cho'Gath, I really don't know how that matchup is going to go. It's going to be kind of the wet noodle fight that you've gotten so used to seeing in these games. But DZG round out their comp here with the Jarvan 4. The hacker not available to them. This definitely has been a fallback option for DZG Heartbreak. And I'm really excited to see what this last jungle pick here is going to be for Capedogs Unchained. And it's gonna be the Mundo. So maybe Silent we were wrong. Maybe that is gonna be Gragas going into the top lane instead. I'm sorry, Gragas going into the jungle instead, and the Mundo going top. So once again, I'm not entirely sure how that top lane tank matchup is really gonna go. I feel that I feel like we're still gonna have a wet noodle fight, but that sustain option is gonna be insanely annoying. And DZG are really lacking that tank killing option here, unless you know the Jinx is able to go and pick up a Bork or something here. But what are your thoughts here, seeing everything?
So for DZG, it's going to be relatively important that Jarvan does not separate too far from his team. With his engage, I don't believe anyone except maybe potentially Thresh will be able to follow up, depending on how far he decides to flag and drag. Meanwhile, Cape Dogs has relatively that kind of poke comp. You've got Cleavers from Mundo, you've got Zeros poke, you've got Caitlyn poke, and especially that Morgana Qs that just randomly throw, and you still have the barrels. So I think Cape Dogs has an easier comp to execute, while DZG needs to find a way to get onto the other team, whether it's picks or just simply bum rushing the other team. But they'd have to do it in relative safety and then try to avoid the skill shots that Cape Dogs will have.
I 100% agree with you. There is so much safety here on the side of Cape Dogs. They have the 90 caliber net, Black Shield coming in from Morgana. The only target that is super just isolated and really hard to get on, or I'm sorry, really easy to get onto, lock down, and kill is going to be Xerath, but he's going to be, launching skill shots from freaking Djibouti, Africa. So, like, the options here for DZG are going to be really hard. You find a Gragas, cool. Well, you got a Gragas inside Cataclysm he can, body charge out of, but even then, it's going to take you a week and a half to be able to kill him. And same goes for Mundo with his insane health regeneration and just the lack of ability to CC him. So, yes, chat, it's a real place. Get over yourselves. But, so, it's going to be really hard for DZG to really find targets to pick. They're really going to have to hope that these carry potentials come online, really scale up, and are able to deal with the front line that is going to be Mundo and Gragas.
Yeah, honestly, the Gragas, really, his skill shots, especially with his ult, can definitely be a make or break team fight effect, because if he pushes the front line and separates the back line, then that front line is completely at jeopardy, and especially with that kind of damage with the back line that they offer for Cape Dogs, I think whoever is taking the brunt of the attacks and the pokes will most likely not make it through that team fight. But they can, as long as DZG doesn't continuously pick fights early, they have 3 scalers. So they have the Cho'Gath, they have the Victor, they have Jinx. If Jarvan can make these leads in their lanes, hopefully the scaling will happen a little bit quicker. But at the moment, I think flatly on just paper alone potential, I want to say that Cape Dogs has the advantage in this one.
I agree. Definitely that Mundo coming in last minute to really solidify their draft, not giving DZG an option to notice that they needed a tank shred option. I think that was well played. But any closing thoughts that you want to get out before we head into our spectate delay, Silent?
No, I'm just hoping that we get a really good game, a quality gameplay.
Absolutely. I'm hoping for uh, a really great series here to really take us into quarterfinals, and I want to see both teams perform. Got good people on both sides. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for the draft phase. We're going to bring you into the game in just a few moments, so hang tight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in game as we are bringing you game one of DZG Olympus versus Capedogs Unchained. Both teams are starting to fan out here for a pretty standard five-man defense here. I don't really anticipate seeing too much. There are options. They have Morgana, they have Thresh, but just taking it chill to start the series off. So Silent, looking at things as we went through the break and everything, is there anything that's really caught you off guard with rune choices, maybe summoner spell action here?
A lot of the picks have been very generic. We did see that Genju opted, especially for the Guardian, so he'll be a little bit thicker. So instead, some of the things I've noticed is some have gone with the what was it, the ice,
Glacial Augment.
um, the glacial augment, and also we're noticing that Gragas also has that predator, so he's definitely going to be able to zoom into lane. But honestly, everyone's running very traditional runes. I do notice that Zerath also has a lot more poke, while Mobster Penguin opted for the first strike.
I've seen that first strike quite consistently on both top lane Victor when certain bad players like myself play it, or just in mid in general as well. I think it does offer a lot. It feels pretty bad to me because it's like a budget. Uh-oh. Well, they're walking into this, but they did bring DZG Heartbreak, who is here. Debate flashes. I think that was Morgana's flash as well. He's forced to use the heal. DZG Heartbreak looking for it again, but does not get anything out. So that was Genshu's flash, DZG Heartbreak's flash, and both bot lane flashes. I think that is a worthwhile trade for the side of DZG, and that was a fantastic heads-up moment there from the team to bring DZG Heartbreak with them to watch out for that ambush. Ambush bush. That I did not think that through when I first started saying that, but that I think that sets DZG up in this bot lane fantastically. Silent.
Yeah, it definitely makes it a lot more difficult for Cape Dogs to kind of be more aggressive,
Uh-oh,
especially
Coach Pizza's in trouble. He doesn't have access to the flash. Damage going out. A final tick of the ignite will put the kill in DZG Genshu's pocket. So a little unfortunate that it couldn't go to reels, but first blood going over this soon. Fantastic start to that play. DZG Heartbreak, right place, right time, getting those flashes and really enable that play silence. So didn't even really get a chance to analyze it before it happened.
well, it does seem like the bot lane of DZG is taking advantage of the fact that they did blow the flashes. I hope that they're able to continue this pace, and that will eventually allow them to scale appropriately, since Jinx definitely wants to get to the 2 items.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mundo going to be pushing up this lane as well with Jarvan coming up into the top side jungle. That should feel a little suspect there if you're the Mundo, but we'll see what DZG Heartbreak opts to do. Um, But,
Well, with
looking at it right now, I know we got a little bit of the spectate bug, but we are going to start off with the Hextech Dragon, so we will not be getting a Hextech Rift. And, quick thing, have you checked out the patch notes for the Chemtech Rift?
I have not yet. I've honestly stayed a little bit away from ranked the last couple days. I wasn't really worried about the new patch notes, but please tell me some more.
Yeah, so I didn't analyze it too much in detail, actually. I think we're going to have to hold off on that, as we are looking at a gank here. DZG Heartbreak gets rooted up, will not connect with the flag and drag. DZG Genshu still looking for it here, but the Black Shield, I think, will give them enough of an out. It does look like Adam Suki is here in the bot lane as well to try to deter any further aggression on that, but... going back to it, they made some modifications to how the ghost effect works. So if you were to actually get the soul no longer lasts as long, and it also reorients some of the health values that you get when you come out of it. So instead of getting bonus health, it's actually in base health. Also, another thing too is they have changed some of the damage profiles around, and I can't quote you the specific numbers on it at this time, but it does try to put a little bit less power in the team that is further ahead. So it doesn't feel too much like, oh, the behind team just loses if it's a Chemtech Rift. So
It does look like the DZG is going to focus on the spot lane.
Oh, absolutely. DZG Heartbreak here again. He should have this flag and drag, connects with it, but right into Chompers. Coach Pizza does get the kill on DZ Ginju. Debay is now the target, but he has Black Shield on, and I do not imagine they get anything more there. But Debay and Coach Pizza really picking up that kill before DZG Heartbreak was there to modify the play, and he was extremely beneficial. Now Adam Suki forcing Monster Penguin's flash out here in the middle, that Predator doing work, and Monster Penguin not having access to any of that mana to be able to drop a gravity field does cost him that summoner. So all around, a lot going on. But one thing that I wanted to point out there is I couldn't tell, but it looked like there was a Caitlyn trap dropped in the Jinx trap. So even if I'm sorry, DZG Heartbreak was able to get through, I think he still would have had a little bit of a bad time. But um, definitely a quick play there. But yeah, DZG wanting to focus on the spot lane, and the bot lane of Capedogs just really answering back.
Yeah, it was interesting to see that the bot lane of DZG got engaged so early and basically ruined the opportunity to have a 3v2 fight. So hopefully we'll see. It looks like Thresh is trying to make impacts elsewhere due to that previous play.
Right, and try to maybe break Monster Penguin out here, maybe look for something on this Dragon perhaps, and DZG Reels just gonna chill here, farm under tower. Gragas looking around on the top side of the map, so if DZG have any sort of inclination that this is going on, it would be a great chance for them to pick up this early Drake, which I feel like the Hextech Drake early is pretty beneficial. I don't feel like it gives you the same lane prowess that an early Ocean gives you, but it's definitely great to get those stats early and start setting up for a win con. You're fighting a team that is going to be very strong early when you have 3 scaling champions. Oh, Adam Suki looking in, has level 5, goes for the flash body slam. Gravity Field will stun him up, but the damage coming through from King Eatloaf will take down Monster Penguin, as that is a kill going over to the Xerath. And, once again, well played by Adam Suki, really pressuring this mid lane while, DZG Heartbreak hasn't been getting that ball rolling, so to speak, too much for this bot lane in the recent moments.
Yeah, it appears that we are noticing which lanes that both junglers are focusing. For Capedogs, they're focusing mid lane. For DZG, they're focusing bot lane. Although it does appear that DZG bot lane is getting all the resources, it does also appear that they're throwing away the lead that they're getting.
Right. It's extremely unfortunate to see, and I definitely think it was that 2v2 bot lane play where DCG Heartbreak just wasn't there to get in time. That really just kind of makes it feel doomed. And now with that mid lane play occurring, it looks like they kind of lost all the momentum that they could have utilized to try to take that Hextech Drake there, for sure. But farming is about equal. The kill in the mid lane does definitely set Capedogs up a little bit with that gold lead, setting them at about a 400, 500 gold lead here. As it looks like Capedogs are going to be focusing on this Drake instead. So definitely the momentum swing here is definitely not what DZG wanted, especially if you looked at their early map movements, but it looks like they're going to try to contest here. DZG Heartbreak looking for an option here, as Adam Suki gets on top of him. Damage coming out now. DZG Heartbreak is sitting extremely low. I think DZG need to respect this, as the Xerath ultimates will come out. Miss, and another miss. So it looks like DZG Heartbreak survives by the skin of his teeth. Now, 5 members of DZG are down here. They did not send Kuvo on this Mundo down, so it's a 5v4. DZG need to get this Drake, otherwise the Mundo CS lead that he's going to generate in the top lane, especially if he gets plates, is going to be damning. But it looks like they are sending him, Cho'Gath, back to the top lane to answer this, and all this action is just fizzling out completely, Simon.
Yeah, it actually put it more to the benefit of Capedogs. Like I mentioned, the separation between the jungler and the rest of his team, that happened. Adam Suki played it super aggressively and was definitely rewarded by it. He probably could have played it slightly better with his placement of his ult to push the Jarvan into the rest of his team instead of pushing it into the wall, and that would have made a difference in the game. But it does seem like the lead that Cho'Gath had created top lane has been slightly nullified but I mean, he's back in top lane. It should go back in their favor, especially since it does appear they're going to start Rift.
Well, it does give him a lot of breathing room, and absolutely, Cho'Gath having access to that feast, that objective should be extremely beneficial. DZG Genshu looking in the wings again, but King Eatloaf is playing so far back, I think he'll be fine. It just comes in, grabs a few relic shield charges, and then heads his merry way back down bot lane. Some question mark pings going down there as they're just trying to track the location of these roams. But DZG do get the rift, and that can really help them accelerate their gold lead and try to get these scaling options online, especially if they drop it here in the next 4 minutes, which would be awesome to see. Now, if you were king for a day on this DZG roster, where are you putting it?
I honestly would. You're already putting too many baskets in bot lane, and we've seen what the results. I think we want to see what happens if you give it some scoops.
Alright, yeah, getting the victor into this game is extremely beneficial. The scaling options that you have available are fantastic. DZG Heartbreak looking in this mid lane might be getting your wish as the Xerath ultimate does come out, will connect, but it will not be enough as Xerath had that shield available from his Q, I believe, so. But also at the same time, you're not really in a good position to um, to situate here with that Herald now, so. Gonna hold on to it a little bit and then maybe look for a different opportunity to use it. So
Yeah, Octofu is definitely taking advantage of his passive healing from killing minions, so he's basically unkillable there. I'm not sure what that rocket was supposed to do.
I think it was scouting for the Drake. I think they had the heads up play that it was happening. They just didn't have the timing on it, so they were looking for it, but were not able to really connect. And unfortunately, well, that is first straight going over to the side of Capedogs here. Gold is still, or is now back even, so losing that early Drake isn't too damning as DZG will really need to get this momentum swinging here. They force out the Terrapult on the Xerath. I think they're going to be diving in. Monster Penguin looking for it, but it will not be enough. He did have the flash available. DZG Heartbreak looking extremely low. That Xerath looking for it, will he hit? And it does not have the range, so DZG Heartbreak. I think this is like his 7th time escaping by the skin of his teeth, but it will be Monster Penguin now. Focus next. It's going to be Kate Ult that comes in, connects, and does take him down. So, another death going on to Monster Penguin's tally sheet there as Capedogs Unchained answer back from that Herald play mid.
That dive was extremely costly. I think they should have settled once the Xerath managed to flash away from Jarvan's ult and just gone away once the Rift Herald. But I think that's just a little bit of overstaying. For a scaling team, I think they're doing rather well in keeping up with the team. Of Xerath preemptively trying to poke out his laner, but does not land at
Yeah,
all.
and this is really good to see for the side of DZG. They are staying even. They are keeping the gold tempo right where they need it to, with a little bit of a deficit here and there. As long as they don't get incredibly far behind, if this Jinx comes online, if the Victor comes online, like we've been saying. Now, the only X factor will be the ability to kill the Cho'Gath in the late game. Or, I'm sorry, the Mundo in the late game. His sheer tankiness is just going to be abysmal to handle. And we are seeing the Victor actually opt to go for the Ludens instead of the Crown of the Shattered Queen here. So going more for that damage profile, I think, is the way to go instead of going that tanky route. Now, going 0-2 right now, maybe you want to reconsider going the Ludens, but I think late game it'll definitely benefit him for the better. Especially once you start getting the upgrades in, you really have access to that empowered Q. Certainly will give him a lot more survivability options, for sure.
So I'm on the fence about that because the crown definitely does offer some anti-burst material, especially with the Xerath, if he happens to land that several of his abilities and skill shots immediately, as we've seen Mobster's Xerath last week when he decided to machine gun his ult. Um, there
Right
are
in their
moments
face,
where
too.
we notice, yeah, there are moments when, the anti-burst is extremely beneficial, especially when you're looking at a comp like them, but then again, you're also noticing that this type of team has a lot of pokes, so
Oh,
eventually
here we
found.
go. Now it's going to be a three-man fight down here in the bot lane. The hook goes and misses, but it will be Jarvan connecting on Coach Pizza. Teleport coming in. DZG Heartbreak does get the kill on the Morgana, and I think they're going to let this fizzle out, but Mundo is here looking to throw cleavers to get the slow. I don't think it will be enough, as that is a quick kill going over for DZG. Now Cho'Gath on the top side should be able to get a lot of damage out. Does have Demolish on this champion, and there's nothing for Capedogs here to get on the bot side, so DZG forcing the teleport out, getting a lot of damage on this bot side, and getting a kill. That is what you want to see from this lineup.
Yeah, we're absolutely seeing a lot of pressure from DZG Heartbreak on that bot lane that I'm honestly surprised that they're not seeing these ganks come toward. It seems a lot telegraphed by now. We've already seen about 5 ganks. I think they should put out some more wards and honestly be able to prevent them from running down continuously.
So maybe they were tracking on it to some degree. They had the Gragas in the bot side ready to answer it, but the damage just came out way too quickly for Capedogs to really answer with. They brought the teleport in, and it just was not enough. The 3v3 just did not go in their favor. But unfortunately, the kills are still not going into the pocket of this Jinx. Your scaling threats are not getting the gold. If we look here, then we'll see right now that the Caitlyn and the Jinx are dead even. The Xerath and the Victor are dead even. So yes, DZG is sitting on a very minuscule gold lead, but it's not in the positions that you care about. So that is extremely unfortunate for the side of DZG, as we might be getting a little bit of action here. DZG Heartbreak will be able to take the Lantern. No ward was utilized to stop that from happening, so definitely think could have been a kill on that Jarvan, or at least forced him. Actually, no, he didn't even have Flash available, so definitely a missed opportunity there from the side of Capedogs.
I think Capedogs played it conservatively.
DZG Heartbreak looking again. Debate does not have the Black Shield with the Flash available, but Coach Pizza will be the target. Traps coming out from the Jinx, rooted up, and the damage going through. DZG Reels will be finally picking up this kill. It looks like Adam Suki doing everything he can to try to turn this around and maybe throw out his cast, something, hopefully, looks, but nothing comes of it. So DZG, once again, picking up another kill in this bot lane. Gold finally going into the pocket of DZG Reels.
Although they did get that kill, since they chose to pick that fight right before the spawning of the dragon, right now, Capedogs does
Ooh.
have the open alley towards the dragon, especially with Mobster dying right before.
Yeah, certainly. Mobster Penguin tried to put on his dancing shoes, but I think he needs to call Michael Jackson back from the grave and get a little lessons going on there. But DZG, Heartbreak once again here in this bot lane. The hook connects, damage connects, Cataclysm, 90 caliber net will not be enough. Unfortunately, that zap was on target, but DZG Heartbreak takes that kill from the 80 carry. So once again, another little missed micro opportunity there, but DZG probably turning their sights onto this dragon here.
Yeah, honestly, I expected better out of Debay. He definitely tried to save his flash when he definitely just should have flashed for safety.
Certainly. Well, Mobster Penguin opting to teleport down here into this Drake. Top lane tower will fall, mid lane tower will fall. So that is 2 towers going over just for the Drake coming in their pocket. And it looks like we are getting the Ocean Soul for the side of, for game 1 of the series. So definitely, if the side of Capedogs get this soul, killing this Mundo is going to be nigh impossible.
I think you could say the same about this Cho'Gath.
Potentially. We could do a little bit of a stack check here. I think he's sitting on 3 stacks at least. I can't. Yeah. So, yeah, he should hopefully be a big boy later on. But and hopefully get this Herald as well. And DZG should really utilize this to try to get some of this lost gold that they're definitely, or the freestanding gold, I should say, not lost gold here. So. Definitely some opportunities. Xerath once again firing off his ult, hopefully trying to connect. I hate how the spectate automatically takes you to the Xerath, but Genshu's sitting a little low, but nothing really on the map for anybody to pressure around. I think this will be the last outer tower falling to the side of Capedogs, as Debate gets solo good on that, and that feels really good for him. He's actually got the gold lead in this matchup. Xerath has the gold lead in this matchup, so unfortunately, the gold leads that you want, Silent, aren't there.
Yeah, it's interesting enough that they spend so many resources and that lane still happened to lose turret first. Right now we're looking at, across the board, all of DZG's first tier turrets falling. So we'll have to see how they plan on coming back from it. I mean, DZG can scale, so obviously they should play for the long game. I honestly don't think that TP into the Dragon Pit was worth anything. I think they should have saved it and used it for something else, simply because there was enough people, no one was going to contest it, and TPing into that Dragon Pit just put it on cooldown.
So I'm actually a little surprised because I was expecting maybe the mid lane tower to fall first from the side of DZG, losing that tower. Acceptable. However, Cho'Gath had a lane positional lead. I wouldn't say CS lead. He kind of lost it roaming a little bit. As DZG Heartbreak looks, Genshu flashes for the hook, does not connect. Blade does connect. Box drop, but it will not be enough, as I think Debay and Coach Pizza are going to be fine here and able to just walk this one away. Maybe they look for something here a little bit. As Caitlyn goes forward, gets the damage out. Xerath ultimate does not connect. He goes golden. Now DZG Heartbreak in there. Adam Suki pushing DZG reels back in. Debay will fall to Monster Penguin. Damage now going out to Adam Suki. He will fall. Caitlyn falls, and Coach Pizza falls, so the only one left out of that is King Yeetloaf, as Herald will be dropped in the mid lane. This is going to be a massive swing in DZG's favor. One charge will not go off the take. Was it necessary? And I think this is going to be 2 towers falling real quick here in the mid lane. Now, Kokovu, you might be a little bit in danger as DZG look for the damage profile, but do not have it. And it will actually not be that second tower falling, so DZG with a very well-fought team fight there in the mid lane, getting a lot of gold back in their pockets.
Yeah, watching that fight, definitely DZG benefited from their entire team rotating perfectly, while it seems like Capedogs has a little bit of miscommunication where everyone was mid, and Kovu was kind of hanging out in the opponent's jungle.
Yeah, he was on his way, but it was not there in time as DZG, like you said, just had all the members there. With the exception of Octofu, who's sitting awkwardly at 0-0-0 right now. He's just doing his thing. He's playing PvE while the rest of his team's trying to PvP on this map. But going back to that previous point, the Cho'Gath had the lead. Bot lane got so many resources, and both of those towers fell first. Well, just fell in general, I should say. So it's DZG not really having their focus on the macro state of the game early, which I think is fine. Unfortunately, giving up those towers and letting the early game team really get to where they need to be is unfortunate. As Kokovu here is now looking at 3 members of DZG, I don't think any CC here will connect, but this tower is ought to fall as just a few auto attacks from Octofu as he just says, screw the minions, I'm just gonna hit the tower on its own. 3 members of DZG rotate up and definitely swing themselves into a 2k gold lead here. So.
Yeah, they definitely got that gold, and then just in time to rotate either to get the Baron or rotate for Dragon. I think they can contest for either objective at the moment. They're better grouped for Baron,
Well,
but we'll see if they try to.
yeah, it seems like this is where they want to at least put their pressure. They're sending Monster Penguin with the teleport available into the bot lane to try to maybe apply some pressure on the map. Dragon's going to be coming up in 10 seconds, and maybe this is something that they're pressuring Capedogs to prioritize here. And as soon as they go for it, then they can opt to go for this Nash. However, they don't have any vision on the objective, and Monster Penguin, if they do send members down here, they're in trouble. But DZG are going to be starting up this objective. They did not bring the jungle down to do the dragon. They opted to just send 3 members here and trying to pressure with the Gragas. This Baron take is not fast enough. DZG do not have the damage options, but instead they're going for Coach Pizza, who will die to Octofu. Now Adam Suki is the target. He will go down as DZG reels is on a killing spree. Now they just focus their target, or their sights back on this Baron. They have 5 members alive, got the jungle dead. This is free for them, son.
We're gonna see some poke. Obviously, I think it was interesting to see why they sent Morgana and Gragas over there, instead of some other resources like a window.
Maybe they wanted the fast Baron take, but I don't know if it was worth. This poke now is coming out absolutely huge from the side of Capedogs. That would actually be Monster Penguin falling. DZG Heartbreak does get the Nash, but he is forced to take the Lantern away. Now, they have the inside track here on the members of DZG. They're going to have to look for some cheeky backs to be able to get out and save some of these Nashes as King Elo is now on a rampage. DZG Heartbreak does get out to preserve one of these, but Genshu, you imagine, will fall, as that is going to be King Yeetloaf picking up his 5th kill here in a moment, as Debay killed Reels off screen, getting another shutdown. So, this definitely did not go into DZG's favor, as they got the Nash, but they only kept it on 1 member.
Yeah, it's definitely not the favorable in terms of the trade-off, but they at least took it off the opportunity for Capedogs to kind of rotate over and take the Baron for themselves, so it didn't go perfectly, especially since they were trading Baron for the Dragon, but at the very least it did get the Baron, so it took off the map instead of ending up with DZG leashing it for the other team.
Oh no, DZG Heartbreak does not own his jungle, but does he get away with murder here? I think he does, as the Xerath ultimate will come in, and it will not be enough. King Yilo finds his target, and DZG Heartbreak tried to have the fancy feet on, but it was not enough for him.
Yeah, that was some supremely questionable positioning, as well as call for himself. He knew that they were still in his jungle, and that basically his jungle is not his while his team was dead.
Right, and especially if you looked at where the fight just broke out, where the members of Capedogs were likely to be, they just fought you off of Nash. They were just trying to push lanes. They probably were trying to take your top side jungle. So, hey, sometimes you're not always thinking clearly after a fight like that. He wanted his camps; they were not his to take. As Mobster Penguin just going to be chilling here down with Kokovu and Genshu here to help him out. Probably going to throw him a little lantern. And this Mundo is just taking forever to put any sort of reasonable damage in. But that would be his ultimate coming out. Mobster Penguin did not use his Chaos Storm, so things just kind of chilling. As there's nothing on the map to really take. There's no outer towers on either side, no neutral objectives. I think this is favorable for DZG. They get some chances to farm up, hopefully put some gold on their carries, who we've already determined are starting to get a little bit of that gold or influx in there. And Caitlyn is, I'm sorry, Jinx finally has some gold lead on the Caitlyn.
Yeah, and we're watching the lane rotations where the Cho'Gath is still top lane, but they managed to send the Xerath to the top lane since the lane has been pushed. So that Xerath is still safely farming. Window is hanging on the side of the next objective, so I think we definitely know that they'll try to contest this next objective.
Certainly, Drake coming up in a minute 30, and if, like we've already discussed, if either side gets this Drake, Ocean Soul makes the already extremely hard to kill tanks much more extremely hard to kill. So DZG is saying, hey, you took our top side jungle, we're going to go ahead and try to take yours, as they have 4 men sitting here on this red buff. We're probably going to see a fight over it, honestly, Silent. As the hook connects onto Debate, you have to imagine the damage is going to be following up here. Debate gets out with a flash and 90 caliber net. DZG Heartbreak sitting in Cataclysm by himself. Kokovu finally joining here under the team fight. Teleports coming in. DZG Reels will fall to King Yeetloaf's ultimate there and going godlike, but we see Octofu just going ham on the backside of this team fight. Does take out Adam Suki, but now DZG, 3 members alive compared to the 4 members of Capedogs, and it will not be enough. Mobster Penguin looking to do something, looking to get the shutdown onto King Meatloaf, but it will not be enough. 2 members of DZG live, whereas 3 members of Capedogs live, and that was not the fight that they wanted to take in their jungle. Not at all.
No, now that they decided to pick a fight so close to Dragon Spawn, Jarvan will be literally spawning just when Ocean will be actually have spawned already. So I do believe that they will be forced to give it up. I'm kind of interested in seeing why the vision for DZG is all focused on their bot lane and none of them have control wards to reset the aggressive wards so that way they can do what they were trying to do, which was ambush the other team. But I think that was a super aggressive call that had no reward for them.
Debay played it as well as he could have. He had to burn everything in the kitchen sink to get out of there. However, it was enough. He survived the initial aggression, and it turned out to be a big upside for Capedogs. Now, damage going out onto this Drake. I imagine that DZG Heartbreaks might look in for the steal, but he's not in the position. Drake was pulled out. They're looking for something, but it will not be enough. As Jinx Rocket goes in, but Mundo is the one that actually secures that objective here. But they might be looking for a fight. Debay is now the target. He's getting blown up and will fall to DZG Reels. Target's now looking here. Maybe it will be Coach Pizza. DZG Heartbreak does have access to the Cataclysm, but does not get within range to use it. So quick kill going over for the trade of the Drake. Not ideal circumstances for DZG, but you know, hey, it's something, a little something going back in their pockets as they opt to look for this this outer tower. Xerath here looking down and does get a lot of damage on the DZG Reels, but just short of being able to actually secure the kill. Now Mobster Penguin looking up. He will actually fall as that damage is insane coming out of King Yeetloaf. Looking like an absolute madman, just hitting everything on this Xerath. Adam Suki looking down to defend this tower, but I don't think it will be enough as DZG just start to break away. And Mundo just doing Mundo things up there in the mid lane and looking to shove top end. But this game is just back and forth all over the place, Silent.
Yeah, it's also important to note that King Yeetloaf's positioning has been optimal for his team. He literally has 0 deaths despite having that Jarvan engage multiple times. Um, Even with that Thresh hook, he's never been at risk of it, so the Bay kind of has been the other carry that has been taking the brunt of the abilities of the other team.
Well, it's something that we talked about earlier. It's like all the members of Capedogs are really hard to kill in their own right, whereas Xerath is hard to kill just because it's hard to ever get on top of them. DZG have not been able to do so. But Genshu here is in a bad spot, setting in the 3-year root from the Morgana. The Kate ult comes in, but it'll be Kokovu who actually goes on a killing spree. Octofu trying to get damage out of it onto him, but the damage is slow as the Xerath ultimate does start to pile in. Will it hit any of the members? It gets a little bit of damage on DZG Reels here. Kokovu still looking. Multiple points of this fight going out here, as I think DZG should be able to disengage this. Gragas having access to the ultimate, but will not find an opportunity to utilize it. DZG Genshu is dead. 5 members left on the side of Capedogs, and they have the inside track. I think might be where they look for Nash here, Silent.
Yeah, I would definitely pick Nash. It's also important to note that Xerath now has 10 stacks on his Magi's. If he continues to play from another zip code as he is, he's going to be a lot more impactful for his team than the victor will be.
Certainly, he has opted not to take that to a Magi's yet, but I think this could be an opportunity. DZG Heartbreak looks, gets onto King Eatlo. Finally, they got this man where they need him, but will it be enough? Damage now turning onto him. Adam Suki does fall, but it will cost DZG Heartbreak his life. Victor now falls as DZG Genshu falls. Reels next on the chopping block. Tofu, you're one man against the army, and you will not last. Adam Suki falls, but it costs DZG everyone and the Baron Nashor, as they have an ace, and this gold lead still sitting even, but definitely going to be swinging here into Capedogs' favor.
Yeah, how they play with this Baron for the next 2 minutes will definitely make an impact on that next Drake. So we'll see if Capedogs is able to. I guess they're waiting for their
They're
teammate
waiting
to
for
come back.
Suki.
Yeah. That's the difference between solo queue and fives.
True. So all 5 members of Capedogs getting that feels really good for them, really bad for DZG. And you talked about it in the draft phase, Silent. You said, well, it's really going to be up to DZG Heartbreak to find inventive ways to utilize this Jarvan to be able to get on top of some of these members, as long as he doesn't go to the point where the rest of the members of DZG can't follow up. He did exactly that. He went to Africa, the rest of his team were chilling here in the States, and unfortunately, all the damage threats just turned onto the Jarvan, blew him to high hell, and all it cost them was Adam Suki, as the rest of the members of Capedogs shifted their focus and just wiped DZG off the face of the earth. So you definitely called it going into the draft phase, and unfortunately, DZG really need to clean that up if they're going to be able to find an opportunity to get onto King Eatloaf and take him down. Getting on top of him is one thing. Having the damage follow through is a completely different story in itself.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing why everyone's standing around this Drake 30 seconds beforehand. Especially with Capedogs having Baron, they can just literally push down every lane.
So I understand why DZG want to do it, but why the members of Capedogs want to do it, I'm not entirely sure. Unfortunately, DZG have access to tools to make nothing at 50-50 smite. They just haven't been able to effectively do so. Coach Pizza is now being the target here as DZG Heartbreak gets on top. Opts to not use the Cataclysm here, as it will be Mobster Penguin who does pick up the kill. Teleport coming through here. Now Mundo sitting in the front line. He's extremely tanky. Genshu taking a lot of damage. DZG Heartbreak taking a lot of damage. They do shift their focus on Adam. Suki does get blown up, but the rest of DZG are sitting on extremely low health bars. The ultimate comes in from the Xerath, looking to hit DZG Reels, who is just trying in vain to pump damage into this Mundo and did absolutely nothing to this member. Now they're just smashing into the inhib, and with no members of DZG left alive with the exception of Heartbreak and Genshu, you have to imagine this is going to be the game here, Silent. So, Tower 1 falls, DZG Heartbreak doing everything he can, but I don't think he can kill this Mundo. He hasn't been killed all game. That's going to be an ace, and this is going to be game 1, going over to Capedogs Unchained. Holy hell. So, everything that we were worried about, we kinda saw. We were worried about the long engage, we were worried about the Xerath just being able to sit in Africa and be able to poke, we were worried about just the follow-up on the damage and the ability to kill the Mundo, and all those things came to fruition. So what does DZG really need to bring into this next draft phase to adapt?
I honestly think it's adapting to the matchups. I honestly was very surprised to see a Jarvan focus that bot lane. I get that early them blowing the flashes for the opponent's flashes early was very impactful, but that Zerath really did not get ganked at all, and in fact, he got more resources than Mobster Penguin did. So honestly, I really wanted the Zerath to get ganked because he's immobile. Outside of his flash and his stun, he really is unable to CC anyone. So if they happen to approach him, I think the Victor could have taken advantage of it. But since he was left on an island, just like their top lane,
Mhm.
and all the resources were given to bot lane, if the bot lane didn't do anything with it, just like they didn't actually end up doing anything with it, then it went to the side of Capedogs. And in addition, we talked about the importance of the Drake, and they were just unable to contest due to these fights that they were picking.
I think DZG need to refocus the resources here. They put so much effort into this bot lane, and then you look at the damage charts. Caitlyn's sitting at 25k damage, and it is the you have the damage coming out from the Jinx, which is sitting at 13k. So it's super unfortunate, but definitely going to need some shifting coming through.
Yeah, I'm hoping we don't see that Zerath if there is no answer for that.
Certainly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and chill here for just a little bit. Actually, let's see if we have the spectate link up just now. All right, they're not into it, so we're going to go into a quick spectate break as we'll be bringing you Game 2 draft in just a few moments. go ahead and stay on the blue side. This is DZG's call. They're the team that lost, so they get side selection here. They're opting to stay blue side. They have taken away a little bit of a draft modification here with taking away the Zerath and the Victor. And it looks like pretty much the same answers coming out here from Cape Dog. So what are we expecting to see this round one pick be?
I still think we're seeing Jinx and
And we are still seeing the Jinx coming in. So, Jinx being locked in here for the side of DZG, running it back, hopefully having a little bit more success in this lane this time. I'd love to see that for sure. So, um, and the members of Cape Dog seem really quick to pull the trigger on picking the Caitlyn into the Jinx. And it looks like, yeah, they're going to be running that back again, too. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right, Silent? So, um,
yeah, honestly, I would still run that Morgana. I don't think that DZG had a good answer for it. Even with the engages, I think picking her off just wasn't worth it.
Well, they actually go for a Trundle here super early, so kind of denying some of the tank options maybe here from DZG if they wanted to consider maybe a Sejuani here in either the top lane or the jungle. Um, so, yeah, definitely a draft adaptation that I was personally not expecting myself. Ooh, Shen coming in. So Shen was actually just nerfed on this patch. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up real quick, but I believe it was his damage on his Q. If he pulls it through, a little bit of a damage reduction there for the Shen. So hopefully it's not too bad, and he's still able to be effective here in this lane. Silent.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I think still the Morgana is still the pick. Honestly, there's nothing that DZG can answer with if there's a Morgana picked here.
Well, it looks like DZG, with not having the Rakan, are still going to be opting for a hook option here. Instead of the Thresh, it's going to be the Nautilus. This is going to be a probably protected um, round 3 pick if they opt to protect it with the bans, and that's certainly a well played option. And DZG opting to save their mid and their jungle picks for the second phase. So we'll definitely see what's coming in here. And it's going to be, wow, I don't know if that was meant to be, but that is a Nivea silence.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing how this is gonna turn out. We both, if it does go mid, we do know that Monster Penguin does also like his scaling champs. So I'm not sure if we're gonna see any fights near mid at this rate.
Nivea is such an annoying champion. Now, her kit's still a little clunky. I think she could definitely use some refreshing. Has to hit the Q or the R to really get the full damage out of the spike. But looks like Cape Dogs are saying, hey, we don't care what you want to play into the Nivea. We're going to take away a Jarvan. Maybe another jungle band coming into here. So DZG definitely getting their jungle pool targeted. And, I, last series, we saw a game 2 Yi. I'm hoping something exciting, but also effective here, Silent.
What if we are actually seeing the Trundle support?
It's potential. It makes a lot of sense. The pillar is super effective at denying Nautilus, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So definitely some options there. And I mean, you have a terrain creation team, which is super annoying. You have a Nivea wall, Trundle pillar. So either way, DCG, you're gonna have some annoying things to deal with in this game for sure. So
Yeah, I'm
I
interested in seeing
go ahead.
what Cape Dogs is gonna show in this pick because if that it really is a Trundle support, then we're looking at potentially a top pick.
Yeah, it Trundle could go top jungle support. It's super flexible right now, so I think it was a fantastic pick. And you do not get your Trundle support; you actually get a Leona, which does still synergize super well with the Caitlyn. Doesn't lock you down for nearly as long, but it's still offering them a lot of tools here. And DZG don't really have that many tank killing threats as well. So if the members of Cape Dogs decide to go tanky here, maybe they'll have a little bit of anti fun with Viego coming in. So Viego, will it be locked? Probably will, as that will definitely be the. Oh, okay. Won't. Last second, change to a Rise, which opens up so many options here for the side of DZG. Realm Warp is such an incredible tool. The scaling options for Rise are just absolutely insane, and I really want to see what they're going to pair Monster Penguin's Rise with in the jungle here for DCG Heartbreak. There's just so many different names that we know these players as, and like my brain is just doing mental gymnastics trying not to call them the wrong thing, as it will be the Xin Zhao now coming in for DZG Heartbreak. So interesting draft phase for sure from the side of DZG. Definitely adapted, but the members of Cape Dogs Unchained adapting as well. So um, I'm really interested to see what this last pick is. I imagine it's going to be the top lane pick coming in here from Capedogs. So seeing it now, three, two, one, and we're gonna get Olaf. Wow. All right. So top Trundle, jungle Olaf, top Olaf, jungle Trundle, silent. I'm not sure. What are you thinking here?
I'm thinking we're gonna see a Trundle top. I think he does rather well into a Shen. I mean, it, it's gonna be a matchup where Shen wants to get tankier, but Trundle is able to scale off of it, and then that allows the Olaf to kind of run at the rest of the main team. Um, it's gonna be interesting to see if um, DZG Heartbreak is going to be willing to try to contest Scuttles with that Olaf. But potentially maybe they'll see a fight. But mid lane is kind of a, I feel like if one side happens to get a kill early, it's going to obviously lend some scaling leads over. But I think overall, I still like Cape Dogs' draft. But we did see the adaptation where DZG Olympus has a lot more engaged than they previously had.
And even with us favoring the Cape Dogs draft last game, that game was close until it wasn't. They took a few suboptimal fights where they just overplayed their hand. They went too deep on trying to get the Zerath. They couldn't find the avenues to get the Zerath. It wasn't completely scuffed, and it definitely was opportunities and avenues for DZG to really get in there and really take over that game. Unfortunately, they just didn't come. Come to fruition. And it does look like we'll have the Trundle top and the Olaf in the jungle unless they do some cheeky last minute trades. But yeah, that is definitely an interesting observation. I do agree. I think that the Cape Dogs draft does have the advantages here, but I really want to see I really want to see top lane and mid lane boil out. I really do. I think I've seen enough of the bot lane last game that I want to see some focus from some other lanes from the side of DZG here. Silent.
I think it's really hard for us to see anything happen except I think bot and top for DZG is where DZG Heartbreak wants to gank just because Rise doesn't really offer anything in terms of CC until he gets his 3 abilities, and usually he's spending his abilities trying to just shove the wave back toward Anivia. Um, I think top lane will be where he wants to make an impact early, so that way Shen can get a lot stronger and make more of an impact on the rest of the map, hopefully grabbing a lead. I think we've seen what happens when he ganks bot lane. I don't think playing into a Leona and Kate will be beneficial for Jinx to pick fights early, so I honestly want to see more fights toward top side for DZG. While Cape Dogs, I think that Olaf is going to go where he pleases, so we'll see where he wants to focus his lane. Last time he focused mid lane, so there is potential that he will try to still pick off that Rise and force him to burn abilities.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back bringing you game two of DZG Olympus first Capedogs Unchained. Capedogs Unchained did take game one off of DZG Olympus, so now we're sitting here seeing if DZG can strike back after a quick couple of draft adaptations. So, primarily shifting our focus around this mid lane, getting a completely different identity here in the jungle as well, not having access to that engage tool, the Jarvan, but going something more aggressive here. But we also see some draft adaptations, like we talked about, the Anivia, the Trundle, the Olaf, like all of it, just an absolute chaotic shift. As I had no idea where they were going, but seeing kind of the five-man setup here is Olaf throwing axes as Olaf does. DZG Heartbreak getting a little bit of cheeky vision here, but Silent. What are your thoughts now that you see everything, buddy? You see everything on the board. Anything new coming to you?
I think we're gonna see similar to what we saw last time. I think bot lane of Cape Dogs has the advantage just because Debay seems to be the more capable ADC in the situation. I think if we're gonna see a fight in bot lane, it will most likely, if it's a 2v2, it'll go in favor of Cape Dogs. I think mid lane, I think we're gonna see Mobster Penguin play super aggressive and try to push the wave, so that's gonna put him in danger of actually getting ganked. But we'll see how he manages his mana, as Rise definitely suffers from the mana, especially when he's not starting tier as a first item.
So another thing.
And
Oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh,
And then
I hate
and
that.
then we're looking at top lane. I think it's interesting that we're looking at a lethal tempo trundle, so we'll see how often he's able to proc his full abilities.
I'm really hopeful. So we're already seeing some damage here coming in from DZG Heartbreak. Nivea still has access to the egg there, but that was King Yeetlow's flash blown already. So what we saw in the bot lane last game, we're seeing here in the mid lane. Hopefully they're able to capitalize on this. As, Octofu and Kokovu, we're seeing some of that lethal tempo trade action going on, and oh no. As the flashes come in, and it will not be enough. Octofu does barely escape with his life. One more auto would have done it. And wow, getting a lot so early on here in this game is we might be in for a spicy one here, Silent.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, if depending on if Trundle is able to start managing his waves better, I think he's going to be able to freeze it against that Shen, and that Shen won't be able to do anything. As we noticed, his trades early was definitely to his advantage.
Certainly, and I did post the update in the chat. Shen now loses like a percent of his extra bonus damage on the Q pull through here throughout all levels. So it's a significant nerf to the amount of damage that Shen's able to get in these trades, in my opinion. But kind of a point that I wanted to go back to is I'm really interested to see how Monster Penguin might try to look to roam into either top or bot to really influence these lanes, maybe get himself a lead in the process. And if they're able to play through that, break him out, and send him around where they need to, this could be a very good win condition for DZG Olympus. I think that the synergy that DZG Heartbreak and Lobster Penguin have had in a lot of their games has been to their benefit. As might have a little skirmish up here on the top side, as Olaf is looking to go into the top side jungle, and I don't know if DZG Heartbreak knows. Adam Suki actually just kind of ducking out of vision there to try to turn this into a 2v2, and I think this 2v2 will go advantage of Capedogs here, as damage coming out now onto Trundle. Will he fall? Yes, he will. First blood does go over to Jinzhao, DZG Heartbreak, but it will cost Octofu his life. I think that is probably worth it here, Silent.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think it still was definitely in favor. I think they should have utilized the opportunity to just back off. I do believe that DZG Heartbreak knew that he was coming across them, but maybe he just didn't notice Olaf coming across the Scuttle Crab sphere of vision.
Potentially not, but either way, it was a very cheeky move from Adam Suki to try to get in there and influence the fight. Unfortunately, he just wasn't there in time to be able to help Kukovu live. And that the W for Shen coming in and doing absolute work, offering Shen the time to survive there was massive. And another thing to consider here, Shen still has access to the teleport, whereas Kokovu opted to use his, and Shen's leading the CS advantage. So overall, feeling kind of good here for Octofu and Kokovu. DZG now looking to send DZG Heartbreak here, but I think they have a good read on it. Hook connects. Genshu hit Coach Pizza, but now Heartbreak going on to the Bay connects with the Wind Becomes Lightning, but will not follow it up any further. And that is a flash coming out of Coach Pizza. Bay feeling pretty confident not having to use his summoners there, but DZG burning sums across the map here with these Jinjiao games coming in pretty clutch. Definitely doing a lot of work here in this early game.
Yeah, during that earlier fight when DZG Heartbreak was forcing that fight top, I think Kovu just did not respect Shen's W, and honestly, if he had just played safely for a little bit while longer, I honestly think they could have turned it into a massive fight in favor of him.
No,
But you know,
absolutely. Now, another thing that Shen has the advantage on right now is it's more of attrition, but he's actually more so attacking Kokovu's mana bar here. So the sustain that the Shen's going to have in this lane is going to be to his benefit as DZG is starting to lose a little bit behind in just the pure lane states. They're definitely not feeling 100% comfortable farming up in these lanes, it seems, compared to the members of Capedogs, and just slipping a little bit over time, gradually into a gold deficit, as looks like Adam Suki is going to start walking topside here. He has access to the taunt, should be able to get out. Does ping him out. I think Octofu is going to be just a-okay. Teleport coming into mid lane, and we're just seeing a farm fiesta here for both sides. Silent, nothing too crazy going on, but it's going to be an Ocean Drake, so we're at least going to get a different soul this game.
yeah, Xin Zhao is definitely trying to create a lot more pressure on the map.
He's
Olaf,
looking
obviously.
here. He connects onto Coach Pizza, starts going in. The traps come out, and then DeBay is looking to try to gun everything down. I think Coach Pizza will fall here as the hook does connect. Damage being split up here. DZG Heartbreak will take down Coach Pizza, and DeBay opting not to utilize the heal, not to try to save Coach Pizza. Just dead to rights there. Does get a lot of damage out here onto Genshu, but just not enough. As DZG will take another kill. Gold going into the pocket of DZG Heartbreak, who goes into his bot side jungle, not looking to start up this Drake, as the bot lane for DZG will opt for the recall here.
Yeah, I think that the game plan for DZG was to, give resources toward top and mid. I think he just could not avoid not punishing that bot lane from Capedogs that decided to push up.
Certainly, if the opportunity presents itself, you take it. And then Octofu is just kind of waiting here. Does opt to pick up the Grievous Wounds here on the Bramble Vest, sorry, not the Thornmail. As his first buy, really trying to deny Trundle a lot of this healing that he has. Coach Pizza getting attacked here again. DZG Heartbreak connects with Wind, becomes Lightning. Damage not going to follow up as King Eatloaf is starting to come through here. He's going to be able to offer up so much zone control. Stun comes in. Damage coming out. That is going to be the Stand United, and it will not get through in time, as that will be DZG Genshu falling. Adam Suki now looking to get on DZG Reels, who is forced to flash into the red buff pit. Now, looking to see if they can get some of the damage out here. The teleport not available for Kokovu. Shen can still join with his teleport if he chooses. Four members here are hanging around this dragon. I think that Capedogs is just going to start it up. Mobster Penguin opting to go back in here. Farm with this mid lane. Does not have access to the Grom or fused it earlier. DZG posturing around this here now as DZG Heartbreak looking for an avenue to maybe connect on a valuable target. Mobster Penguin sitting a little uncomfortable. Does get stunned up. Damage coming out. And he is forced to flash away. Damage still going out on this dragon. They're looking for DZG cannot get in, but they do. DZG Heartbreak flashes in, gets the dragon. Now, it's going to be Adam Suki taking down DZG Heartbreak, and Genshu is next to fall as King Eatloaf will probably be picking up this kill. Just kidding, going over to Debay. 2 kills for the trade of the Drake, and I don't know if that is entirely worth it for the side of DZG here, Silent.
Yeah, we could definitely see. Well, looks like we're gonna see another fight top.
Nah, he's just gonna, yeah.
Um, Honestly, during that fight, you could definitely see the impatience from Mobster Penguin. He definitely wanted to get at the dragon, and no one was willing to really step up with him. So he ended up getting caught and getting poked out heavily. But it was fortunate that DZG Heartbreak was still able to connect to with his W to the dragon and basically steal smite. But we're honestly watching a fascinating thing. It looks like Kovu is just super uncomfortable on this Trundle because all he's doing is literally shoving the lane into the Shen. So the Shen is just getting to free farm.
Well, it's still working out in his favor. He's sitting 20 CS up, and these trades are certainly going in his favor as he just gets on top of Octofu and bats him around with the giant club for a little bit. But I definitely see what you're saying. The wave management could definitely be a lot better here from the side of Kokobu.
Yeah, Kovu could just simply, if he manages waves slightly better, he could be starving this Shen out, and it is would have been really unfortunate because I do believe that Trundle is able to duel both Sintao and Shen. So I think we're just watching an unfortunate opportunity that is missed by the top lane. But we are watching this bot lane still. That Caitlyn CS difference is just ridiculous now.
Uh, Between the kill and the CS lead, it's 700 gold difference here. Now, Coach Pizza once again might be caught in a bad place, but the members of Capedogs are here. DZG Heartbreak forced to utilize his ultimate. Damage coming out on him, and he will fall as all members got inside to be able to pump out that damage. That is second death on DZG Heartbreak, who had such a great early start. And I think that's just going to be Herald that's going to fall here to the side of Capedogs. Their early game here is just sliding over DZG. 3K gold lead already for the favorite of Capedogs Unite. They're Unchained. Mobster Penguin now stuck in a bad place. Will get locked up with the stun. Coach Pizza is going to be here. Flashes, connects, and this will be Mobster Penguin falling, you have to imagine, as King Meatloaf on a killing spree. 3-0 in the mid lane here for Capedogs. Oh, this is not looking good for DZG here. Silent.
I'm honestly curious why Rise didn't even attempt a Realm Warp because he was standing there straight inside Nivea's ult and did not move an inch.
Oh, maybe he just was worried about the Leona follow-up CC. As plates are going to fall here. Herald is available to the side of Capedogs. You have to imagine they're going to be dropping it here. It is channeled by Adam Suki. This is going to be a massive golden flux coming in from the side of Capedogs at just 11 minutes into this game. 3 plates going to go over here real quick to the members of... I'm sorry, 2 plates. But it is now Stand United being channeled onto Genshu. Octoku is here getting onto King Yeetus. He will go to egg form. He will fall, and this damage is going to go over. I'm sorry, the kill, rather, is going to go over to DZG Heartbreak, picking up his third kill, getting the shutdown onto that Anivia. Feels real good. Kakovu is here, but he's not really able to offer much, as DZG have 5-man strong in the mid lane. Caitlyn just smacking away at plates down here in the bot lane, and will actually get, I think, 2 of them uh, into their pocket. So Debay feeling very good with that opportunity, and all it really cost them was the Anivia from the side of Capedogs. So it's still sitting at almost a 4K gold lead, and still just 12 minutes in this game. And Caitlyn is sitting at a very comfortable 1K gold lead above Jinx here, Silent.
Yeah, it's interesting to see this because from it's already a difference from last game when you watched that top lane and mid lane go deathless, and now they both have a death each in this early game.
Yeah, certainly. And it's going to be a really hard hill for DZG to climb. Yes, they have some scaling options again with the Rise. A lot of gold going into DZG Heartbreak here, probably for the best that it's been going into him since he's, on the Shinjao, who is just one hell of a duelist. Um, but, this deficit this early, it's definitely going to be a tough hill for them to get up. Mid tower about to fall here. First tower going to go into King Meatloaf's pocket, who is already sitting very comfortably ahead of Mobster Penguin. We talked about the gold lead in the bot lane, but look at that gold lead in the mid lane here. It's 2K in the pocket of King Meatloaf of Mobster Penguin's Rise Silent.
Yeah, I mean, Anivia is such a safe champ, and she's
Uh-oh.
been hard to punish except for that early.
Well, when Become Lightning did not connect, Super Mega Death Rocket there utilized in hopes that it did, but I don't even know if that was a fight that DZG wanted. All members of Capedogs were kind of chilling down here too. Teleport's not necessarily available, but neither is Stand United in the top lane, as that is a very quick second Dragon take. Score tied up 1-1 now for Dragons, and we're getting ourselves a Hextech Rift, so this should opt for some very interesting plays here as we get into this game. The wall connects, stun will go out, as that is a lot of damage going back over onto King Eatloaf, but Monster Penguin definitely not coming out for the better on that trade. As moving forward, things are our objective bounties are gonna start coming out here soon. This should hopefully give DZG a way back into this game.
Yeah, we're seeing this Olaf kind of do Olaf things. He's running wherever he pleases. Caitlyn's getting the advantage in the bot lane. Hopefully DZG can get one of these tier 1 turrets with the objectives and kind of turn the gold difference around. Hopefully it's going to go around for mid lane or either the ADC. But it's starting to look really clear that perhaps Jinx is not the pick for bot lane for DZG.
And that was some of the comments that we made in the chat box. Is DCG opted to go to the blue side, it seems that their focus was on getting this Jinx picked up for him, and whether it was a denial tactic to keep it away from Debay, who has, despite just getting run over by all the pressure last game, still had very good damage numbers, still had very good plays where he was able to survive a lot of the pressure being put onto him. So, um, maybe if he would have gotten the Jinx, or you lose a ban on some of these other primary picks. So DZG could have maybe fought against a Victor, could have fought against a Xerath, which didn't go so well for them last game, and they seem to want to get rid of that Nocturne as well. So uh, maybe it was a denial pick, maybe not, but it's definitely not showing up very strong here is DZG Heartbreak is just taking an absolute load of damage here. Stand United coming through, but will it be in time? Yes, Shen does get in here, but the shield is not enough. Damage completely coming out. Caitlyn does take down Heartbreak. Octofu will fall to Adam Suki. Adam Suki now being focused down will fall to Genshu of all people. Egg popped from the Anivia here. Damage coming out, and you have to imagine, yes, they will fall. Reels gets that kill. Reels going forward. Now Mobster Penguin getting the shutdown. One more coming through, and it will be Genshu that takes it. Coach Pizza should fall here to Mobster Penguin, as it is just 4 members on the side of Capedogs falling to the 3 on the side of DZG. Kokovu saying, okay, cool, I'm just going to take top tower. And DZG fighting back, but still this gold not in their favor here, Silent.
What took Jinx down? Was it the minions? What? That fight was extremely exciting, and I honestly missed the opportunity to see what happened to that Jinx because she was outputting that damage and honestly looked like she was about to take the entire um fight her way.
Certainly, and between her and Monster Penguin, the damage output was very good in there. Maybe we spoke too soon. Rails coming up huge in that fight with Monster Penguin, and hopefully the damage charts are going to be looking a little bit more in his favor this game. But certainly I had no idea what actually killed him. I think the only member left alive was Leona, so it must have been minions, must have been Ignite. I don't even know. Maybe somebody else saw it in chat and can let you know. But things kind of just, once again, going into that low state. Looks like we're going to have some pressure around this Herald, but I think, yeah, they're just going to dance around a little bit. DCG Heartbreak might be looking to connect with Flame Becomes Lightning, and they have no Stand United available. They have the Teleport available, but the Shen Stand United is so much more impactful than a Teleport onto a ward for sure. 4 members here on both sides dancing around is Kokovu just really hard shoving into that bot lane. And we talked about that 20 CS lead. It's actually grown into a 40 CS lead, 50 CS lead almost, here for the side of the top lane. And it looks like Capedogs just opt to go in for the inside track and get a lot of damage onto this tower. I'm actually going to take us over there now, and I think that has to be a tower going through. Trap wall is there in place, but DZG Heartbreak now getting focused up. Does get stunned, his ultimate saving him a lot of damage there, as they just pretty much lose that tower for free. Capedogs playing around their range and wave clear advantage perfectly here, Simon.
Yeah, and they definitely blew Sinzel's ult, which makes it difficult to enter in to contest this Drake. It's definitely going to help Cape
Well,
Dogs' team fighting, but it does look like they're going to try to trade this Rift for a Dragon again.
and I'm not opposed to it. They get the objective bounty here on the Rift Herald, and they can turn around and utilize it to get a objective bounty on a tower, right? So one of the outer towers that are still standing. But Adam Suki just pounding on Shen. Connect, 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 and Shen. I think that it almost got taken out there by that Caitlyn ultimate. I didn't see the actual damage numbers. But DZG now looking up here might be able to get 2 towers, get some gold back in their pocket, and shrink this gold deficit a little bit. 2 towers falling in their favor will definitely shrink it up. We might lose bot tower here, but 4 members of DZG strong. Recalls coming out now from Capedogs as they realize that they did not play the map optimally. Caitlyn will take another bot tower and get themselves a little bit more of that gold in their pocket, which is beneficial for DZG. Gonna get a lot of momentum here on this top side. Another charge. I don't think they'll get the tower, as it will be 5 members strong here on the side of Capedogs. Damage coming out, and Herald stepping around like an absolute coon will actually not be able to get that second charge off onto that top side tower because that Nivea wall just doing so much to really annoy that objective. So, decent response there from Capedogs, but DZG swinging themselves back a little bit, still sitting at a 4K deficit here, Silent.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing what this Leona is gonna do. She ended up behind the other
Well,
team.
Real is in between a rock and a hard place. That is 2 ultimates, both Adam Suki and Coach Pizza laying down the ultimates, trying to catch Reels. As Reels just flashes out and says, "I am out of here." We've got 8 seconds on Nash and 4 minutes on Drake, but uh, these Hectech Drakes starting to fall. It's gonna be real bad if the side of Cape Dogs is able to secure that objective.
Yeah, and I can't imagine how lonely it is for Octopu since he's either getting beat down or he's lonely farming. But I think the advantage is the fact that he's able to help his team engage and hopefully provide some shields for whomever he deems worthy of his ult, Stand United ult.
Well, I hope that it's able to swing things, some things back around because this game has just not been going in DZG's favor at any point in this game. They've had a few fights that look decent, but Octofu, instead of helping his team, I don't think his team's going to be able to help him. He's going to be stuck with King Eatloaf and Adam Suki and just trying to run flash, dash, um, fancy feet as he's dodging skill shot after skill shot. I was not expecting him to survive that. DZG utilizing this pressure advantage that Octofu was able to generate just by living and surviving, going to turn their sights onto the Smash. Now there's going to be 3 members of Capedogs here. They're trying to go onto the Trundle here, but nothing connected. It's looking like the repeat of the bot lane play. Instead, it's going to be Kokovu here with the fancy feet. Leona looking, drops the ultimate, hits 3 people with it, gets the slow, but Genshu now getting the Stand United channeled onto him. Kokovu now being the target here for the DZG members will fall. DZG Heartbreak does get that kill. Caitlyn on the back line with the rest of the members of Cape Dog will take down Mobster Penguin. That is a lot of their damage threat. Huge stun coming out from the Anivia. Now this Anivia's realm of icy bullshit, which I don't remember the name of, will do a lot of work there as Adam Suki just running straight at the members of DZG. They're looking very scared here as they're running for their lives. DZG Reels probably will fall with another axe. Octofu might make a hero play here and take it. Never mind. I think he just should apply for the fucking wanted cast because he curved that axe right around Octofu, hitting Jinx right in the forehead, doming him, killing them. And that's going to be 3 members of DZG falling. And hey, they got Kokovu, but definitely not going in their favor, as the members of Cape Dogs here are all postured fantastically to take this Nash. Silent.
Yeah, I'm watching them and I'm kind of questioning what happened there. They honestly got a great pick off the Trundle, but they knew that there was an Anivia incoming. They should have just backed off. They got what they wanted, but it looks like DZ Heartbreak's going to try for this.
He's trying for
But
the 50-50 here. Kenshu giving him vision, but he's just locked up by Coach Pizza so hard he can't do anything. Debay going over the wall to help out. Coach Pizza taking that kill, saying, "Nah, I got it." Now there's teleport coming through for Octofu. He dashes over the wall. I thought he was definitely going to die for that. And we got another minute and 13 seconds here on the Drake. So, DZG, what is your answer? Because what you've been coming up with has not been working so far.
yeah, we're looking at this Caitlyn that is almost at 2.5 items. It looks like the next item is going to be IE from her. Jinx just finished her second item, so there's still going to be a damage disparity, uh, especially around mid and ADC. I think Trundle's just doing Trundle things at the moment, but he's not really um, seems super comfortable on this champ. So we'll see if this next fight, I feel like it's going to make or break DZG's chances at getting to turn this game.
Well, we're seeing them posture around here in the bot side jungle, and they're getting some damage out onto DZG Reels. 4 members? 3 members? Yeah, 3 members here for Cape Dogs. They're starting to get engaged on as the Nautilus comes through. But Suki just says, "Hi, I'm Olaf," runs, kills Reels, goes on a killing spree, and it's going to be Mobster Penguin next to fall. This is definitely not a one fight for DZG, as not even the Xin Zhao is able to take down Adam Suki on this Olaf, who's just doing incredible work. The ultimate coming out doesn't connect, as Adam Suki triple kill. Now, that's going to be a clean ace here for the side of Cape Dogs, and they should just be able to barrel into this base.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there because honestly, that Olaf should not have been allowed to freely walk into that Jinx. Obviously, the Jinx was already relatively in the area, but honestly, the focus for the team should have been on that Olaf. He used his ult. We both know he's just going to commit to it fully, so why not just kill him while before focusing everyone else?
Certainly. And this is going to be the third Drake falling to the side of Cape Dogs. Just scaling this objective. They broke the mid lane inhibitor, and they're saying, "Hey, we're feeling pretty good about this." They're just pretty much going to be able to open Rift sitting at 11k gold here. First DZG Olympus. And there's 3 extremely dangerous threats that DZG need to deal with, and I don't think they're equipped to really handle any of them. I thought maybe their best bet would have the Xin Zhao be able to fight off the Olaf, but Olaf just said, "No, I'm good," and was able to fight off pretty much the entire backline of DZG. So, Mobster Penguin, I didn't really see his positioning and where he was, but he died on the backside of that fight, and it just not really able to get off this insane amount of damage that Olaf, or I'm sorry, that Rise is typically able to put out.
Yeah, it does look like everything's going in favor of Cape Dogs, and it's going to be
Oh no,
this.
DZG Heartbreak might be a little bit in trouble. His coach Peachly connects but does not follow through. Kukovu is here, but I think everything's just going to fizzle out. But that's Shinjao Ultimate and Flash going down. Those are some pretty key abilities for him to be able to have to defend this top lane push that Anivia is mounting up here on the top lane. So they're posturing around. They own this top side jungle. There's no question about it. Shen, who's been sitting down here in this bot side, or in the side lane this entire game, DCG have yet to get a single outer tower with the exception of the one that they got with the Herald Push top lane. Mid's still unbroken, bot is still unbroken, and Cape Dogs are like, okay, cool, pressure our outer bot tower, we don't really give a fuck, and they're just gonna barrel down the top lane here. Fortunately for DZG, they don't have access to the Nash buff. DZG do have access to the Stand United, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. The members of Cape Dogs are so strong, they need an ungodly setup for a fight here for it to go in their favor. Silent.
Yeah, honestly, with the mid open, hopefully DZG is able to get some more extra gold, but it looks like Cape Dogs just do not care and are willing to dive them.
Well, they have no reason to let off the gas pedal and let DZG have that opportunity. The range that they're able to generate here with the Caitlyn to be able to get the auto attacks off is perfect for them. They never have to worry about waves because Nivea just hits R and everything dies, so that's fine. So it's just a perfect storm for DZG, and the members of Cape Dogs are fully utilizing it to their advantage. Imagine as soon as this tower falls, we're going to see Buckery. Yep, there it is. Leon ult coming through. Kokovu running forward on this Trundle will not really get anything as he's just Nautilus ulted up. But they take the inhibitor anyway. DZG Genshu, I think, just got deleted from the face of the world. There's now all the damage going out here on the reels. He got Stage United, but it was not enough. Now Octofu looking to teleport in, but I cannot imagine that he's going to be able to survive this onslaught. Fortunately, the minion waves are not here, but I don't imagine that this game is going to be lasting much longer. Waves starting to come in. The members of Cape Dogs are 5-man strong. DZG do not have access to their bot side. It's going to be a god play from somebody, maybe, hopefully, but no. It will be Mobster Penguin falling to King Yeetloaf, who is now on a killing spree, 6-2 on this Anivia, an absolute menace in this series, as Cape Dogs Unchained take down DZG in a clean 2-0.
Yeah, that last fight was very interesting because I was kind of curious why that Shen did not ult a little
All
was a
right.
miscommunication there, and that Stain United was way too late to help his team, and it looked like they just were not willing to pull the trigger to just try to make anything happen to try to salvage it. Instead, they kind of just allowed the team to kind of snowball and continue rolling into an avalanche.
Certainly. Well, with that being said, I'm going to take a look here at these stats as we're going to actually have a member from Cape Dogs Unchained come in for a quick interview whenever he's ready. But look at these damage graphs again, just all across the board. The members, the three strong members, the three core members of Cape Dogs, just doing absolute work. And Nivea, just once again, you could hardly kill. Actually, I don't even think you killed this man in game one, and then you have to kill this Nivea twice because of the egg. Olaf just barreling through the entire lineup of DZG, going 9-1, 20,000 damage on this champion, just an absolute menace, Verb. And you know, it was an absolute pleasure to cast Olympus during this split. I loved every second of it. Um, Normally I know they drop a game, but I wasn't expecting it to drop two, and with it being this kind of like mid-season, or I'm sorry, preseason look at this team, I really want to see how they're going to flesh up moving into, I believe, Aegis coming up here soon. So really excited to see how things boil out for this roster for sure. But um, yeah, it's just I don't think everything the pieces weren't where they needed to be tonight, unfortunately. But we are going to be waiting here just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and go into a quick break. Then I'll be bringing you a quick interview from the bot lane of Cape Dogs Unchained debate. Stand by. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here with the bot lane of Capedogs Unchained, joined by Debay. Debay, how are you feeling, man?
Feels pretty good. Got the dub. Sucks that I won against you guys in the first round of of playoffs. I was hoping we get a best of five because the games are a banger, but fuck man, your guys jungler love my fucking support.
Yeah, Coach Pizza was he was getting eaten, right? Like it was Domino's came, dropped the fucking box of pizza right off on DZG Heartbreak store, and he was like, "All right, cool, everything that I want right here." But no, that was definitely an interesting series to watch. Game one was extremely close. Game two. Close at moments. Close at moments. Game two just got blown out of the water, and I absolutely wanted the same. Like with the inherent rivalry we've got going on here. But game one, you're feeling so much pressure from DZG Heartbreak. Like, how are your thoughts maybe going into game two? Do you feel comfortable taking the Caitlyn back, especially with the damage charts in the first game?
I was surprised you guys left Caitlyn open. I know I fucked up I Gale force into your guys' team. I was like, oh shit, team, I fucking just inted, and my team like started making fun of me. But it was so kind of surprising. It's like my most played champ, and it's usually my most banned champ in competitive play. So I mean, I'm glad we handshake Jinx and Kate, but Jinx can only get so far if she has a good laning phase, you know.
For sure, for sure. And there was definitely resources put in there for reals to have that moment. But now I don't want you to answer this question if you're not supposed to. I don't want CJ getting mad at me. But are
Yeah.
you um if DCG had opted to leave up the Jinx, was that something that your team was looking to take instead? Was that more of a takeaway pick for DCG to really prioritize taking that blue side and opting into that? So how did y'all feel about DCG running that back to back?
Um, I thought they kept the Jinx and then they banned the Caitlyn. I would have played the Vayne instead, and it would have been a lot harder matchup, and I think it
Sure.
would be favored onto your bot lane. So that was kind of surprising. But the game two, playing Caitlyn again, I just felt a lot more comfortable doing it. Even though I made some mistakes, my positioning was a lot better, and I was able to pressure because for some odd reason your jungler went mid instead of camping bot. When I'm pretty sure you want to get your Jinx ahead.
I definitely options for that for sure. Now, so I've gotten my brain who the MVP of that series was, but I want to hear it from you. Like you were in there, you heard the comms, you have a completely different perspective. Who do you really feel enabled y'all to just come away with that 2-0 tonight?
Honestly, it would either go to Yeet or to our top laner. Our top laner is fucking, he's solid rock. You know, like whatever we give him, he's just gonna perform. You know, we all have good games, but I think I'm gonna give it to Yeet, this fucking player of the match.
Oh, I 100% agree. That Xerath in game one, he was untouchable and literally forced some members of DZG to just like dive as far as they could to kill him and just didn't have the damage follow up. So I think he played phenomenally both on that Xerath and on that Anivia. So King Yeetus definitely well played tonight. Now, kind of going into that top lane discussion here, like I was thrown for an absolute fucking loop here when we started talking about the Trundle and the Olaf and everything. So y'all picked Trundle like second pick. What was the thought process going on there?
We figured if your guys' top lane stays on a tank, we're gonna have a counter matchup,
Okay.
and it kind of worked out in our favor since we saw you guys pick Xin Zhao last pick. We were
Hmm.
able to counter it with Olaf, and just we were able to run through your team with having Olaf disrupted, and the other four of us, like zoning your carries out, or at least your front line out.
Well, fantastically played, Debay. You handled that pressure so well, still able to pump out great damage numbers in both games. I mean, game two was a little bit lower. You definitely definitely paled a little bit in comparison to the Olaf and the Anivia, just 5K behind your Anivia, but still well played series for you, man. Well played series, and I definitely look forward and we'll be rooting for y'all. Unfortunately, after you kicked us out of quarters, but semis, hopefully finals, will be rooting for you. But that being said, man, thanks so much for coming out. Is there any closing comments you'd like to make, man?
Yeah, man. I mean, if we won finals, that just means you guys lost to like the people that won finals. But thank you to the team. Thank you guys for letting me do this interview. It was a banger series. I hope your team runs it back. It was pretty surprising that you guys fucking came out of nowhere and took your guys' division out of storm. So you guys have good things going on for you guys. Org.
Yeah, we've come super far in the last 2 years, man. But it's always a pleasure to have great people in the community like you around to be able to do stuff like this and really help us enable this content. And all your fans coming into the stream tonight. Thanks everybody for checking out the stream tonight. Well played, Capedogs Unchained, DZG, Olympus. Hey, we'll get them next time, guys. We'll come through.
Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a
TJ.
fantastic night. Thank you for joining.